that we waste a lot of.
But let's talk about why people start sports in the first place. It's usually because of one or two categories. This is very well documented in science. First category is to be better than everybody else. This is usually called extrinsic motivation. Category 2 is I just want to see what I can do. And it looks like fun. This is called intrinsic motivation. Let's talk about the differences just a little bit here. Extrinsic motivation has a focus of beating other people. Intrinsic motivation has a focus on improving oneself. Extrinsic motivation has a high ego. Intrinsic motivation has a low ego. Extrinsic motivation focuses on getting on leaderboards, beating old records, beating times, getting more points, scoring more goals, improving their stats, improving their hierarchy. Intrinsic motivation focuses on the meaning, mastery, self-improvement, self-discovery, fun, enjoyment. So it's all about money. It seems like the money is the root of all evil and to be better than other people. And when you focus on those two things, sport kind of gets tarnished and it's not very cool anymore. And then it didn't even really want to make me want to compete in it either. Our society pushes more is better, and it produces and pushes competition. Now, is that good? Is it bad? Is it both? Probably both. Sport and entertainment will not change history. It's not gonna cure cancer, and it's not gonna change the way we look at the world. But a good example is Muhammad Ali, and this is one of the reasons why I have him on my wall. See? Now, Muhammad Ali was one of the greatest fighters and athletes of all time. But what was cooler is he's more remembered that Muhammad Ali pushed for equal rights. And that's kind of what made him a legend. He was not just good at this sports thing, but he was pushing a topic that was super important at the time, equality for all. And that's what made him so great. That's what made him a legend. And this part. This was like his vehicle to send this message. And you combine that, and you have the awesomeness of Muhammad Ali. If he didn't do the sports thing, he would still be just as great. But if he didn't have the equality thing, we'd be like, he was pretty good, but he'd be kind of forgettable. You know, he wouldn't be Ali. You know, we are told we need to be bigger, faster, stronger, and better. And for what? For a little metal, really, it's just a piece of metal, usually spray painted, or a piece of plastic. Like, the best example I have is, they told me, you need to get tops at the US champs, and you need to win medals. And, I'm not just speaking out of my ass. I'm like a professional athlete, and I've won medals. And while that was a really cool time in my life, when I won that medal, when I got second at the US championships, they gave me the medal in a plastic wrapper. Oh, I finally did it! I did what everyone's been telling me to do, is win this medal! And then when I got it, I had to take off the wrapping, they ordered it and then just gave it to me. And that was one of those ding moments. Why is this important? I could have bought this myself and had the medal. The extrinsic motivation, the little bit I had at that point, completely gone. And then it was the emphasis I put on this to see what I could do. And that was way more important. All that extra money and medals and trophies all went out the window, which is why I don't have a lot of my trophies hanging around. I have that to remind me at a time in my life. That's there as a reminder of all the cool places my intrinsic motivation has taken me, so I get to experience life. It's not about the medals. I care less about those, to be honest with you. So then another question is, where does the meaning come from? Does it come from you, or does it come from other people? And what happens after you beat all these people? I have heard numerous stories, because I have had the opportunity to get to hang around a bunch of Olympians and post-Olympians and future Olympians, and when they beat people and rise to the top of that mountain, then they're like, we've got no one else to beat. Now what? And what fun is that? Whereas the intrinsic people, who even win medals, but they're just kind of seeing, how far can I push my personal limits? Then they could win medals, and then they continue to stay in the sport. And then they're 60 or 70 years old, and they're still doing the sport out of pure enjoyment and fun and love. And this has nothing to do with who they're competing against, because they're always just competing against themselves. The point is if you stay curious to see what you personally can do versus trying to beat other people, your adventure never ends. And it's constantly fun, and it doesn't matter what the marks are. Let's look at the big picture. Our society pays millions and millions and millions of dollars to athletes to catch a ball, or to hit a ball, or to hit a little ball into a little hole, or to run really fast. We pay millions of dollars for that. Millions. seems a little ridiculous. The way I look at it, in the big picture, we are just monkeys giving other monkeys little pieces of plastic and metal for entertaining other monkeys. This whole thing and sports is not that fucking serious. Just see what you can do.